Hello, in this video I would like to demonstrate how to install Stratus Business Manager, both online version and desktop version in a real environment. We will start with the online version, and as you know, it requires web server, so it will be installed on some Windows server for now. Linux is still not supported. It will be probably possible in future. Here I have clean installation of Windows Server. In this case, this is 2019, but you can use any version like 16 or 20. Here we have absolutely clean installation. I have just finished default installation of Windows Server with default features enabled, and we want to install and run Business Manager. On our wiki, you can always find detailed instructions how to do installation. It can be found on wiki page under basic information installing Business Manager online. And let's demonstrate how to do that. I have prepared a folder on the desktop where I have put few files: SQL Express and Business Manager Online, two versions, because I want to demonstrate how to install updates as well. And SQL Management Utility. It's not mandatory to install, but we can probably, it will be required to visually check how database looks like. Alright, there are some prerequisites for installing Business Manager, and first of all we have to configure a server. To do that, let's go to Server Management Manager dashboard and click Add Roles and Features. Let's go next, next again, server selection, server roles, and here we have to enable web server. Alright, then on the web server configuration page, we have to enable few additional features in addition to default ones. This one, HTTP redirection, dynamic content compression. And here under security we have to enable basic authentication. Probably I forgot, maybe URL authorization as well. Under application development we have to enable WebSocket. That's mandatory. As I remember these ones, filters and extensions. ASP.NET, probably it is not required. Let's check. Let's leave it without checking this for now. And I suppose ASP application utilization. Maybe this one is required. Let's try leave like this. And I click next and install. And while installation advances, let's run database. Let's install database engine. Currently Business Manager supports two database engines, SQL Server and Postgres. For this demonstration I'm taking SQL Server. So here is installation. Usually you will have a web installer, but I have a local installer. And this is SQL Server 2016. Again, you can use any version. That's doesn't matter. I select New SQL Server standalone installation, accepting. No need to check updates. Again, click next, and here we have to select SQL Server installation parameters like folder where to install, where to store SQL Server files. It is not needed to install everything, so we don't need the replication or services, full text, and all these things also not needed, I suppose, but they take just few megabytes, so I will not deselect them since they're default ones. Click next. While we are on the SQL Server installation, installation succeeded here for web server. Okay, close. Name of SQL Server instance, I leave default one, and default connection string specified in the Business Manager installation points to SQL Express instance name. So if you have different instance name, it will be required to change this before launching for the first time, launching Business Manager for the first time. On the next page, we will select what? Some accounts. All right, next. And here we have to select authentication mode. Takes time to load. It will be Windows authentication mode. You can use mixed mode, so it fully depends on your real environment, on your administration, policies, etc. I am leaving everything default, and this user should be able to administer SQL Server. By the way, we can add another administrator here, because in Internet Information Services, where we will add website, application pool is running under IIS user, and if we try to click add here and IIS user, I forgot how this user is named, but if to add it here, then this user will become a SQL Server administrator, and application pool will be able to create and manage databases on this SQL Server instance. But we can leave this like this. Click next. In reporting services native model, install only. I had to deselect reporting services on the future selection. It's not needed to install it if you do not need it for other purposes. And while installation is in progress, I suppose it will take some time. We can leave it here and move on with the installation of Business Manager itself. Let's return to our install folder and let's run installer for Business Manager. And when I click next, it offers me to download some packages. Here it is not correct. It is not correct, sorry. If I will run last installer, here we have correct prerequisites, and we need to install NetCore IIS hosting module 500. So it can be installed automatically, but since I want to install one previous version, let me open Internet Explorer. And let's say Net5 Core, and let's go to Microsoft website where Net5 can be downloaded. Here we have current version 505, but let's use 500 and let's download hosting bundle and run. It takes few seconds to download the file and run installer. So please, on this page, where if you will be downloading the file manually, agree, install. Let's move it here. If you will be downloading the file manually, use not x64 or 86, but hosting bundle. This is mandatory for web server. Installation completed. Okay, so let's run installer again. Next. I accept. This time we didn't get prerequisites page, as you noticed. Next again. Here we have incorrect default installation path. Currently this is TBM 6. So again, this is old installer, and new one we will use new default installation path. Again, next, and install. I agree. This window is also not needed. And we are installing Business Manager right now to some folder on the hard drive. We can go there. For example, it will be C netpub. Now we will see TBM 6 folder here when installation will actually start. So we need few things. I will just repeat. This is web server, and we get IIS manager. To get this, WebSockets is mandatory to install as a feature of web server. It's very important. Then we need some database management system like SQL Server, which is still installing here. It always takes time to install it. And we need Business Manager itself. All right, so installation is done, and here you will find all the files for application. The next step is to install license. In the installation folder, and I suppose in start menu, you will find license in utility. Here it is. You will find it in the licensor folder inside application installation folder. And if we open it and run TBM licensor, you will find this small console application, and here we have two choices. First of all, in the beginning, we see current information about currently installed license, and then two options: one to show license in dialog, and two to exit. Then, when actually running on the server, TBM will ask this utility licensor if we actually have a license or not, and they will communicate, and this application will know if it is installed or not. So I hit 1 here, and I get product activation dialog, and here I can click activate it and install my team or enterprise license. For now, I won't be doing this because we can install it without license code and use it in demo mode. It will be enough for this demonstration. All right. The next thing is to create a website in IIS Manager. But before we move on, let me also notice few things about installation folder. First of all, we have application settings file here, and if you in future, if you will be trying to track some errors occurred in the application on the server, a file applog.log will be created here. So if you want to check something or send to developers, you will find this file here. It will be the first one in this list after these folders. That's important. All right, so let's go to Server Manager, and here we have IIS already after installing web server. And if I will go to Tools, here we will find Internet Information Services Manager. Let's run it, and we have default website here configured, and default look of IIS Manager. We can use default website to link it to our TBM installation folder, or we can create a new one. Let's create a new one. We can stop this default website, and I'm adding a new website. Let's call it TBM, and physical path will be C init-pub TBM 6. All right. HTTP. This is also important to note that TBM can only work in HTTPS mode, so it is required to have SSL certificate here. For this demo purposes, I will only leave HTTP with port 80, and I will show you how to how to use it without SSL certificate. It is highly not recommended, but it's still possible for test purposes. So if you just install an application and want to check how it works, you do not have still SSL certificate, then it's possible to disable HTTPS redirection. In the host name, if you have registered URL for this and you have DNS configured correctly, then you can specify like something TBM, some site.com, something like this. Now, since we are using localhost, I'm not adding any information here, so just click OK. To another site, OK, our another site is stopped, so this one will be used here. Default port. Okay, what's next? Here it takes a lot of time to install for some reason. I do not know why. Usually it installs much faster. And we cannot start testing until SQL Server installation completes. The next, if I will go to application installation folder and open app settings, and we can use any app settings.json. We can use any text editor to open this file, and here we can find a number of important settings. First of all, this is allowed IP addresses. It allows to control IP addresses of clients who are able to access TBM externally. So if you have, for example, some known sources of clients, locations of clients who will be accessing TBM, and you want to limit access to explicitly only those clients, then you can list IP addresses, comma separated here, and other clients, other machines in the whole network, local network or internet, won't be able to access TBM. Alright, before we move on, let's wait when SQL Server installation completes. SQL Server installation completed. And now, before we go to application launching, I will have to say that here we can add a new parameter. Let me insert it, and it is disable HTTPS. In your actual installation, this parameter will already be here, so it will not be required to edit, and default value is false. We can change value to true, which means that we want to disable HTTPS protocol, and default HTTP redirection will be disabled. So I save this. Save. You do not have permission. Okay. Something with Windows Server configuration. Let me copy it and paste it here. Replace as administrator. So we have required settings file here with disabled HTTPS. All right. So now we have a website added here, disabled HTTPS setting. We have a binding here to HTTP protocol with port 80, and now we have to finish configuration. By this, we go to authentication and check that anonymous authentication is enabled. Okay, it's enabled by default. And now we have to go to application pools, find TBM application pool, and go to advanced settings. And here what is important to do is to change netclr version from 4 to no managed code. Also, you can change some other settings, default settings. For example, start mode, instead of on demand, we can set always running. We can change idle timeout action from terminate to suspend to make it faster recovery after some idle time of the application. And here, very important setting here, identity. Here we have application pool identity. This is a user in the Windows Server which will be used to access SQL Server as well. As you remember that we as administrator during SQL Server installation, we have selected only current user. In my case it is Eugene K, but not application pool identity. So we were able to add this account to administrators of SQL Server, but since we didn't do that, I go to custom account, click set, select my user and specify my password like this, and click OK. If password is correctly specified, I get no errors, and then hit OK, and now this user will be used to access SQL Server from TBM by application pool. That's all. Click OK, stop, start to restart application pool, and now if we can try to preview website in the browser. Let's select it in the list of sites and click browse. If everything is configured correctly, we have to get TBM login page. Let's wait when compilation completes. We have Trados Business Manager caption here, some UI. Maybe it is not very correct because initially the login page should be displayed like this. So we have login page. Now, if I will open application settings file again, you will see that we have connection strings here, and we have TBM connection string, which is default name of this parameter. It cannot be changed, of course, and some connection string. Here we can find that data source is localhost SQL Express, initial catalog is TBM. If we are fine that our database name will be TBM and SQL Server instance name is SQL Express, then it's okay, we can move on to login. Database is still not created, actually created in SQL Server. But if we do not like it, we want to use another database engine, another name of database, another SQL Server instance, anything which is not in default string, then we have to do this. Instead of login here, we have to type config. And this page, configuration page, allows us to change default connection string used by TBM. Here you can read some instructions and change default settings and then save them. This page is actually available by default, and when you are ready and you do not want to make this page available anymore, you have to click log this page, and then this page won't be available for editing. Alright, so let's return to login page, and we would like to use default connection string, and default username and password is user@tbm, and I click sign in. At this stage, database must be created by SQL Server. So first login, if database is actually missing yet, it will take a bit more time to log in into application. And here we are. Database is loaded, created, and we have empty data here, so we can start working. Going to application screens, application settings to create initial configuration. We can, for example, create some demo data to get overview of application functionality without creating anything manually. And now, since we have installed not the latest version, let me upload a new version to a server where updates are installed. I'm doing this on the second screen. Alright, and in a few seconds we will see that update is available here. Let's wait. It should happen automatically, but I do not remember how frequently update check is happening. Maybe each 2 minutes. Let's see if I hit F5 to update the page. And here we are. I have updated, and here is update icon, which when I click on this I can view information about a new version. And from here I can view also changelog for last 5 versions. I can go to my SDL account and I can click download button. When this button is clicked, you will see this notification, and here you will see download progress. If you hover mouse pointer, you can cancel download progress. If we go to I suppose www.root and then download, we will find a downloaded version here. So I can click it, and before I'm installing update, let's go to IIS Manager, our website, and click stop. You can see that connection was broken immediately, and only now I can run on the installer. Let's wait. Click next, next again, accept. Installation folder is determined automatically because this is update, and install. Again, I will speed up video now, and let's wait when installation completes. Alright, installation is completed. Hit finish, and let's go to IIS again and click start. And here we can try to reload the page. And let's wait when IIS will recompile application and rerun it for us. Like this. And now if I will hover mouse over this icon, you will see that we have new version 5.9.34. So this is how updates are installed. Also, you can see that while during our tests, applog file, which I was talking about in the beginning of this video, was created, and we can click here and see some information, some errors, or something was happened, like anti-forgery, because we are using HTTP, and such errors could occur in that case. What else? Now let's move on to maybe desktop application, because everything is clear now with online version. After we are done with tests, and after we install SSL certificate, we have to go to app settings and revert this parameter back to false. Okay, so let me close all the browsers, everything. Let's go to second part of this video about installing and again updating desktop application. So also we have this version here. Double click and let's install desktop application. Default installation path is Documents Trust Business Manager v6. Okay, and install. By the way, you can compare that installation size of online version is just 70 megabytes, but for desktop version it is 230 megabytes for now. Maybe this will be decreased in future, but to pack this application into Windows like container, it requires almost 200 additional megabytes included in the installer. so download of updates will take a bit more time with desktop version rather than with online version. Okay, installation works. We can see that folder was already created, and we are done, and we can launch Trados Business Manager v6 desktop version. Starting process looks like this, and here we get Windows application, and it looks absolutely the same as online version. The same admin username, user at TBM default password, sign in, and if I will make this window a bit smaller, and again we have empty database here, we have same navigation, same buttons here, version information, update information, we can download it, I will show it a bit later, and we have additional button here to run licensing utility, like this. Okay, what's next? The next desktop version I wanted to show you, it has few additional features compared to online version. The first one is this button, create backup. It allows me to create database backup like this, and you can see that backup is created, because in desktop version we do not need any SQL Server installation. We just install desktop version, and if we go to installation folder, open resources, bin, and here you will find database folder, and if you open it you will find database file, and here this is a file where all your information is stored. You can backup it manually, but you can use backup functionality or inside TBM UI as well. Folder structure is the same. We still have app settings files, app log file will be created later here, etc. So everything is absolutely the same to online version. Additionally, here in the application settings, if I open settings and go to application settings page 1, we will find additional area here, database, and here we can choose database file location. Empty field means that we use default location, and enable backup. Enable backup allows us to automatically create backup of our database when we close the application. And if I click save here and close the app, go to database, you will see that automatic backup was created, and application will maintain up to 5 automatic backups, and on the 6th day application will delete first the oldest backup. So like this, and if I will run Business Manager again and open application settings again, go to page 1 and database file location. I can click 3 dots here and select a new location. For example, let's go to desktop and select a folder. And we have the information, confirmation that new path was sent, and you can see that database file is now here. Okay, and if I restart application, then now this file from desktop will be used to store your data. This way you can put your database file to some folder which is synced, for example, with Cloud Drive, and you will get automatic backups to cloud. And now if I will hover mouse pointer over this icon, you will see that at the bottom of this text of the tooltip, current database path is C users, UGNK, desktop, TBMDB, SQLite. So this is how you can know from where your data is coming from. That's all. These are the only differences comparing to online version. In online version, such things like database path and automatic backups cannot be implemented, and if you want to implement database backup, you have to do this with some external tools, manually, with SQL Server tools, anything which allows to solve this task. And for updates, again, I can click update, click download, and download has been started, and you can see that download folder was created inside TBM installation folder, and if I open it, you can see that download is ongoing, and progress bar is here. You can wait, and when download completes, installer will be launched automatically. So we will not be waiting when this happens. I think that's all that I wanted to cover in this video. Now I suppose it will be easier for you to install application TBM both online and on desktop, and you know where the data is stored, and understand how everything is structured and organized in TBM internally. So thank you for watching this video. Let's wait a few more seconds when download completes, and you will see that it wasn't able for some reason to run installer, but we can do this manually if that doesn't happen, and proceed with updating of desktop business manager. So again, thanks for watching, hope this video was helpful for you, and see you in next kind of tutorials. Bye bye.